welcome to a special new series of the Build How podcast called Leadership Unlocked. This series goes deep on values-driven leaders as they share what they've done to scale their teams. I'm your host, Sarita Dua, and in each episode, we're going to sit down with leaders who've built scalable, high-performing teams that thrive on growth. You'll hear real stories about how they got started, the lessons they've learned, and the unique superpowers that make their team stand out. Whether you're a real estate professional exploring your next move or just passionate about leadership and growth, you're in the right place. Let's unlock what makes great leaders and great teams truly magnetic. And today I'd love to welcome my special guest, Ramon. You're going to have to actually make sure I get your name right. Ramon Casaus, is that right?
Casaus.
Casaus. Ramon
Close.
is in multiple markets. I know he's in Arizona, and I'm going to actually have him jump in and tell us all about where he is and where his team is based and a little bit more about himself.
Cool. Well, yeah, thank you for having me. And I started my real estate career in Albuquerque, New Mexico, pretty much right out of college. And, we quickly rose the ranks going from, zero transactions, right? Just literally a brand new agent in 2016 to completing over 500 in 2021. And after about 5 years in that market, I decided to open and launch another location here in Scottsdale, Arizona, which is where I live and work every day. And so, yeah, we run a real residential real estate team across both of those markets, Albuquerque, New Mexico, and Scottsdale, Arizona, and of course, the greater Phoenix area.
So, man, I mean, my favorite thing about interviewing people is just stopping and double clicking on things and making sure people heard you right. 0 to 500 in 5 years. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
You said you got your start early. How'd you get into real estate? Like what was the spark that got it all started?
It's funny. I worked for a real estate investment trust, a publicly traded REIT, right out of college, and I loved it. It was like my dream to get into real estate, do big transactions. This company would buy, sell, and build apartment complexes all over the country. But the 9 to 5 killed me. I mean, I was doing the work, and I was like, I am bored out of my mind. I want to just take a nap at lunch, and I'm not satisfied with this income. Like I've been, lack of better terms, I've been pretty poor my entire life. I want to make some money, and I don't want to wait. My dad's a custom home builder. So when I decided not to pursue that career. I moved back from Florida to Albuquerque, and he told me you should get your real estate license. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know about all that, man. Like baking cookies and holding open houses, not really my thing. And he said, well, just consider it. You want to make money. We just paid a real estate agent $25,000. And I was like, wait, you said double click. I was like double clicking, like, wait. What'd you say? 25,000 in one deal? He said, yeah, I mean, that's not going to be your everyday first day in the business, but yeah, a high quality, skilled and educated professional real estate agent, that absolutely that's the type of money you can make on a regular basis. And so that's honestly what got my interest. I had like $250 and you're telling me about, 10xing my money. I was like, or 100xing it. I was very interested. And frankly, that's what sparked my interest, is saying, well, shoot, if I sold 10 houses, now we're talking, and that's kind of how I got introduced to the business and warmed up to the idea.
Yeah. So you kind of immediately saw the possibility after sort of initially thinking this isn't going to be your jam, but like very quickly your eyes were open. Tell me, when did you know, or like, where did the real estate team concept come into play? Did you know that kind of at the beginning that I think I want to make this thing bigger, or was it something that evolved?
Majority of the things I did in my first 2 or 3 years were because I didn't know better, which may have been somewhat ignorant bliss, right?
Mm-hmm.
To me, I just thought, well, if I had other people working for our team and, financially I can make it make sense, that's more transactions, more marketing, more social media, more brand, more open houses. Like to me, it sounded like a fast way to expand the name of my company and of Rock Real Estate Partners. The second reason was because when I set up my first LLC that I overpaid for drastically to get this big deal LLC set up, right? The CPA, Dave, super great guy, unfortunately passed away years ago, but he told me, the one good thing he told me was that, hey, if I was you, I'm just listening to you, Ramon, and hearing all the crazy, at the time, lots of crazy ideas. I think you should build a company that can outlive you. And you're telling this to a 22-year-old. I'm like, all right, well, what does that mean, Dave? He means like every person I do the taxes for, I do all of them, all the big wigs in town. It's their name and associates. It's their name, it's their name, it's their name. And the thing is, if they stop working, then the business, it's not a business. And I was like, interesting. He said, yeah, so I think you should create a brand that people can get behind, that want to partner with the company, not just partner because of you. And I mean, he's like, well, yeah, that sounds good. I mean, I think I'll do that. And so that's where also like the reiteration of the team concept was like, I want to build something that outlives me and where people want to join our company, not because of me, just but because of the brand and what it means and the culture and the company and the value proposition we provide. So that was some loose thoughts back, in 2016.
Well, I think you were lucky to get that advice. I think there's a lot of us, I mean, me included as well, that you're a couple decades in and you build a team around your name. And if you could do it again, you certainly can do anything at any time, including rebrand. But I mean, if you're the bottom Jenga piece and you pull yourself out and the whole tower crumbles, or people are attracted to you, and then they feel like if you're traveling or you're busy or you're just less available, that all of a sudden it's not the value proposition that they first, sort of joined
Correct.
forces with. So I love that you kind of knew that early on
Yep.
and you built something that was with you, but not, but independent of you, and that it had a life with or without your name attached. Let's talk about your first, like, early challenges as a leader. I mean, I know you said you had some kind of dumb luck too on some, ignorance is bliss, and probably some good and bad that you kind of didn't know any better. But like, any challenges that you were having like earlier on?
So the day I started my third year in real estate, so 2 full years in, I opened an independent brokerage. So this is again not knowing what you don't know. Like 2 years selling real estate, had a really good second year, and I launched my own independent brokerage, Rock Real Estate Partners. I owned um, in Albuquerque, and through that time, I ran into a specific moment where I was a frustrated business owner, and not frustrated because I didn't know how to figure out payroll and all that stuff and operations. I was frustrated because I felt like nobody got it. Nobody worked as hard as me. Nobody like wanted it as bad as I did. So I found myself like frustrated saying like, you guys just don't get it, and thinking that I probably am better or know more than a majority of my team. And frankly, every person who started a small team at some point has probably felt that way. Like they're looking at all the people as the reason why the company is not succeeding. And I had some really good mentors at the time that taught me to probably, it's better to look within first. And after observing me, and we used to train on Friday nights in my office. Friday night, I'd be holding a piece of paper, pretending like I'm holding my sales meeting, practicing, because after spending some time with me, this consulting group I hired, I didn't even hire them, it was free. I was their first client ever, so they just did it for free. They're like, Ramon, we're just gonna be dead honest with you. You're actually a pretty intimidating person to be around. I don't work for you. I don't come here every day, but I just hanging around you, I sometimes can't tell if you want to like throw us out of your office or if you like me. I really have a hard time discerning the difference. And he said it's everything from your eye, the way you like change your facial expressions when you don't hear something you like or you don't like, the way that you talk, your body language. They asked me little things like, when's the last time, just out of curiosity, you gave somebody a compliment in your office, like about anything? I was like, well, that's a good point. Probably never. And so they taught me these intangibles of nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And this kind of started my journey, if you will, on building culture and what that actually meant, and setting standards and setting expectations and core values and purposes of our company, and then helping our partners buy into those concepts that will lead their business to where it wants to go. Not, hey, look at me, follow the leader. At some point, you do have to lead by example, but that was like this kind of pivotal moment where I really started enjoying my business more I felt like people worked harder and tried more. It didn't happen overnight, but yeah, it first started with like me as a leader, how I was communicating with people. It wasn't inspiring, even though I thought it was actually quite the opposite.
Well, I think every intimidating team leader thinks they're, nice as pie, right? And so for you to actually have that, uh, the humility to take that feedback and start changing the way you communicate and kind of I bet you the same thing. When you send an email, you probably get right to the point and you have to stop yourself and be like, wait a minute, let me ask them how was their weekend,
Yeah.
wish them well, because it's if you're direct, you don't mean to be
Yep.
not caring, but you just get to the point, or you might be even impatient for an answer, and it's behavioral. It's really changing the way we are so that people feel like they're welcome and included.
Yeah, that's 100% true. And they asked me about a morning routine, right? Like, what do you do in the morning when you get up? And I'm like, well, I mean, I wake up, I turn on some, at the time, either podcast or some 80s classic rock. I chug a cup of coffee and I hit straight to the gym. And, they're like, do you like spend any time, do you say hello to anyone else in your home, do you like, and what they ultimately got to is like, chances are what you think is the exact opposite of what people on your team think. The way you think about your morning is the exact opposite about how they think about their morning. What your definition of balance is probably the exact opposite of what their definition is. And so it taught me that not everyone has to be me, and frankly it would be very destructive to our organization if everybody was like me. And that was like a big, sounds so simple now, but at the time it was like revolutionary. I was like, wow, that actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Well, and for those of you listening who think, I've heard it all the time, right? I got to go find a me. No, you have to go find an opposite of you. There
Yeah.
aren't a bunch of yous, right?
You don't
So
want
let's
that.
talk,
Yeah.
let's talk about how your team is structured today. And the second part of the question, just so you can think of this as you answer, is what role did place play in helping you scale? And as you talk about your team today.
Yeah. So when I first learned about place, it was actually a very casual setting. I had moved to Scottsdale and got introduced to Ben Kinney, who was down here in Scottsdale frequently, and we got together and talked about just like guy stuff. He never pitched me once on the company, and we just hung out and bonded over cars and hunting and other stuff. And you know, uh, well, when it really came down to it, I asked Ben specifically what the 10-year vision. I told him specifically, tell me the land on Mars mission of this company. I'm not looking in the next month or next year. I want to know the multi-decade play that you see. And when Ben shared that vision to me, um, I was pretty much sold in that moment. I was like, obviously, we got to figure out the black and white, the nuts and bolts. But I, I had always been looking for something as radical as place. 2018, I'm at Zillow headquarters doing a training in Seattle, Washington. And I remember walking through 14 floors of Zillow employees and operations. And I just like, wow, this company is changing the landscape, the residential landscape. They're changing consumer behavior as we know it. And when I got back to Albuquerque, going from, Seattle HQ back to my little market in Albuquerque, I was like, man, I got to do something radical. And it's not just change my logo or get a new CRM. Like, I need to do something way different because this is going to be a problem long term. This type of company, not saying Zillow is a bad company, but in terms of just competition as a whole, I want to be competitive, and that's a competitor, and I know it. So when I learned about place, it hit me. This is that radical opportunity that I had been looking for, something truly unique and never been done in the industry. And frankly, I looked at place and said, if I take my resources, what I've built, what I know, my work ethic, my people, my systems, my tools, and I combine it with everything that place brings to the table, I know factually I'm going to make a bigger opportunity for myself and my team faster. And the key word was faster. And Ben's told me the same thing. You could do everything we're doing, but it'd be pretty cool. Cool people like to do it together. And frankly, I think it'll go a little bit faster. And that's absolutely been the truth. So that was like, I can go into tons of detail about place, but that high level is what attracted me to the company. We were doing just fine when we met Ben in place, and we were actually having the best year of our career. But I saw
You weren't
that.
even Yeah,
Yeah,
you weren't even looking, right? I think
wasn't
you
even
get
looking.
attracted to game changers, right? Who are the
Yeah,
people that are gonna change the game, and
yeah,
how can we do this together, high-fiving ourselves along and each other along the way, as opposed to banging our head and figuring it out. Like, leadership is lonely, so to do it with people you like and to get there faster is amazing. Let's
yeah.
talk about play specifically. Are there any specific playbooks, systems, or tools from plays that have transformed your business?
I now that I have an operation and meaning a team that sells hundreds and hundreds of homes every year in Albuquerque, I actually consider myself a business owner now, um, because a true business owner can remove themselves from the operation, and the operation can continue to run and also grow. And that's what we've accomplished in Albuquerque. And when I say we, I've played a role in it, but our leadership team is really who owns that and has had all the success. Like, without them, it wouldn't even be possible. But learning how to actually structure a team where you are profitable, it's worth owning, it's enjoyable to own, and getting your time back as the business owner, which last time I checked, majority of team leaders want to make the same amount of money, but they want more control over their time. And Place helped us mold that model that they brought to the table, and we implemented it, and now have a successful real estate team that's running, and it doesn't require my full-time effort there. So I'm like, think I've graduated. That was the first step, was can we actually build this model the right way and build a business we really enjoy. Now the next question is, can we do it again and again and again and again? But it all started with really learning and becoming and acting like a business owner. And Place brought, the financial management. They brought the HR. They brought the full accounting suite. They brought the data. They brought the implementation, the technology to enable us to do that.
So I love that because you transformed from the word agent, or a real estate specialist, to a true business owner. And by having the operations in place, the leadership team, and really the systems to have it as a business. And if I think about it as I'm listening to you talk, place is to Rock Real Estate Group as Rock Real Estate Group is to the value they provide to their agents, right? It's the
1,000%.
same value to your agents, which is, how can you be part of something where you let us take care of the business and the operation so that you can do what you shine at?
Combine resources and make a bigger opportunity faster. That's it. Yep.
So, talking about agents, if you could briefly, and I know you're the expert on this, so I know you and I can talk about this for 2 hours, but briefly, how are you approaching hiring and bringing on new agents based on everything you've got in your toolkit?
Um, it's we have a lot of conversations. I have almost a conversation. You call it a recruiting conversation almost daily at this point, one way or another. And there's a couple things I've learned through the last latter part of 8 years recruiting agents to my team, is that um, in today's day and age, we've never been more distracted in our entire lives. Whether it's the notifications on our cell phone, social media, your favorite real estate influencer, podcasts, books, YouTube, your coach, like, everyone is telling you a different thing you should be doing. And shoot, they all sound great. They all like, yeah, like I would love to be a TikTok superstar and do all my business through TikTok, and that's it. Like, they all sound good, but the problem is that you never go all in one direction. You try a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and you end up floundering. And that floundering of not gaining momentum is what leads to discouragement. Discouragement translates into how you deal with people. It translates to your relationship, your home life, and it's just this nasty cycle. Distraction equals discouragement over and over and over. And so, without getting into like the shiny objects about what we do, I just ask people, are you looking for clarity? Are you looking for a proven model that the question is not, does it work? The question is, will you work it? And that clarity, and when I say clarity, I mean ability to focus on a model and on a method day in and day out, is what gets the result. And if you're willing to do that, and by the way, there's no skirting around hard work. It's going to be hard work either way. It's going to be hard work to be discouraged, or it's going to be hard work to build momentum. It's hard work no matter what, but the longest way around is the shortest way home because shortcuts never get you there. So if you're ready to put yourself in the driver's seat of the right model today, that's what we do. And if you're looking for that clarity so you can channel all of that good energy, all that intention, all that drive to provide a better life for your family, if you want to know where exactly to channel that energy every morning when you wake up to live that better life, then this is the place. And that's what it ultimately comes down to. And for some people, that's it. That's what they want. And others, are going to find something else that works for them.
I love it. You basically are saying we've got a proven model. It requires work. And if you're committed to doing the work, you're going to get the results. And
We,
there
we
is,
will
like you
we
said,
will
there's no,
change your we will change your life
yep.
if you're willing to do
Oh,
that. Like it changed mine, it'll change yours. Like that's what we're about. That's what we're all about doing. Yeah.
so if you were to describe your culture, you pretty much nailed it right there. But how would you describe your culture today? Your
I
team's
think
culture?
our business is filled with people who want to change my life as much as I want to change theirs. At the end of the day, I think that's is at the root of who we are. That is at the root of what we do. And we're here to support each other along the way. And partnership is at the root of everything we do. And one specific point about partnership is that partners hold each other to a standard. Partners take their time deciding if they're going to partner together. Partners have an established, clear sets of expectations. Partners are willing to have uncomfortable conversations for the greater good. And partners, the good ones, they stick with you through the good times, but specifically the hard times. And we want to be in business with our partners for a long time. And so partnership truly is rooted at the core of our business.
Great. Is there anything I didn't ask you that you want to just add or share at this point?
I, I mean, no, if there's anything you want to double click, I can jump
Yeah.
into, but no, these have been good questions. And yeah.
Where can people find out about you and your team if they were looking to learn more?
Well, Google's pretty powerful. You can Google my name, but I'm pretty active on Instagram and, the social media channel. Someone from their team will get back to you pretty quick, or it might be me. But yeah, I'm pretty easy to find.
Well, I want to thank you, Ramon. For as long as I know you, you're a busy guy, but you always take the time to help. You always answer your phone, and you make everyone feel that they're the only person that you're talking to. You're super present. So, thank you for sharing. This has been so helpful, and I think many of us that are watching should realize that. Look, no matter where you are, you can be anywhere in 5 years or even sooner. And it's all about who you partner with, and it's about the mindset and doing the work. And like you said, you're not looking for short term having agents join you and then leave. You're looking for people that are committed, that are going to stick, and that you both are going to be there for each other through the good and the bad. And that's a really, really powerful partnership statement.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the kind words, and I appreciate you having me.
Take care. Have a good one.
All right.
I'm out.